This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
Go. Okay, so hey everyone again. So Kayla asked me to come on and talk about my wife and I's IVF journey. It started all the way back in 2020. God, it's been a while. It's actually the reason she got tested was we decided we wanted to start a family, but we didn't want to pass the HD gene on. And we took many a walk in the trails and woods trying to figure out if it was the right thing to do or whatever. I'm sure a lot of you had a similar discussion or struggles. But basically we decided to do it and we decided to go ahead with it. So she got tested. Obviously she came back positive. It's partly why I joined the group. So then we were, how do we do this? Because it costs a lot of money. The minimum we were looking at was like 20,000. So it can be a bit cost prohibitive, especially because insurance won't cover it. But there's actually a group called Help Cure HD. And it's basically a grant and they will pay for your IVF. It's technically we're doing IVF with PGM, PGT. It's basically the IVF with an attached like genetic screener. So we found the grant and it seemed like a dream come true. And my wife thankfully actually writes grants for her job. So we were able to, she filled out a lot of the paperwork and long story short, we got it at the beginning of 2022. I think we applied in like 2020. So we had the whole conversation in 2020 about whether to do it. We applied in like 2021 and we didn't hear back till like the beginning of like 2022. And it took the rest of the year. So we've been working on this for like 2 to 3 years now. It's just kind of mind-boggling when I put it that way. But yeah, so they're helping to pay for it. So we got in touch with a local clinic. And it's been slow but sure from there is the best way to put it. It's been kind of crazy. You have to get tested to see if you have any fertility issues as well. Thankfully we don't, which makes our success chance higher. And it feels as a man, as for the male part of the relationship, it's actually I feel kind of useless through most of the journey, because it's been a lot of her having to get all the shots and blood work, etc. So I just sort of there with her as we go through it. But through the actual IVF process, now that we finally started 2 months ago. So for like a week, 2 weeks, my wife had to take a bunch of shots every night on the dot. And that got us a bunch of, basically they're making, normally a woman has like 1 egg a month. This was to like pump up those numbers basically. And so we had 18 to start with. She just did the retrieval a week or so ago. And this is the part that sucks. And it was kind of like it's the most like stressful and like heartbreaking part of the journey is so we retrieved 18 eggs. And then they get combined with my contribution to the journey. And then, but from there, it's basically attrition. So 18 were retrieved. It went down to like 11 fertilized. Let me double check what that was just real quick. Sorry, everybody. But I just want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. We have a little board that we're tracking it all on. We made a cute little video about it, about the final step. So yeah, so we had 18 retrieved. I did remember it. 11 were mature after that. Or 11 of her eggs were mature enough to do anything with. And then you fertilize them. So, and then only 8 got fertilized. And then from there, you basically let them grow. It takes they let them grow for 5 to 7 days. And from there, they basically get to a blastocyst stage. Fancy science words, I know. Basically more mature. And then it went from 8 to 4. So you can see the numbers just like continuing to dwindle. And it's it's a little like, oh my God, are we gonna have any? And thankfully, just a couple days ago, we were told that we have 3 totally HD free embryos. And thankfully, since we don't have any fertility issues, it's a very high chance that we will have a baby soon. So on April 21st, my wife is supposed to have the implantation process. And that's like the overview of our story. It's been a long one. It's weird to condense like a 3-year journey into a little 5-minute chat. Thank you. Appreciate the congrats. Um, it's been rough. So I think Kayla just wanted me to talk about like what it took. Basically it took a lot of time. That's the main thing I would say it took. Thankfully due to the grant, we don't have to pay a lot of money, but without that it would be a lot of time and money. You just gotta stick with it, I guess. So, but the entire family was crying when we told them a couple of days ago. We called her sister, and she was crying because she knows what it means to the family. Um, and again, I say that without any judgment for anyone that does have kids or wasn't able to go through this process. It's just something that we personally decided to do. So again, no judgment at all. Oh, that's really cool. Thanks, Courtney. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I mean, that's pretty much the story.
Yeah.
It's
Well, thank you, Josh. I think you did amazing, and that was interesting. And
thank you.
we have some others on here, so I'm gonna stop recording, and then we're gonna talk to some people. Thank you so much.
Yeah, after it's